I am Jeff, host of the Read to Lead podcast, bringing you a special episode, a special announcement. This week, we will resume with our usual guests starting again next week. But I have something I want to share with you today and give you a chance to be a part of something I think is going to be pretty cool. You no doubt listen to this podcast because you're interested in closing the gap between intention and implementation. You want to be a better leader, better business person, better entrepreneur, better at your job or your career, better employee, better business owner, better marketer, better salesperson. In other words, if you're like most Read to Lead listeners, you're trying to take your skills to the next level. That might include becoming a more valuable employee where you are now by expanding your knowledge and increasing your current skill set. It might include launching or growing a side business with the hope of maybe creating some decent extra income or even building it into something that allows you to quit your present job. Or you might even be looking to redefine your purpose and get a better handle on what you were put on this earth to do. Well, the thing is, I've been where you are, and the single biggest obstacle I faced when I was starting out was knowing what to do next. Right, that helpless feeling of being stuck. Now, in my case, some of the questions I had to address were things like, do I need a blog? How do I send emails? What's an autoresponder? What idea or what things should I build in the first place? I can't find an idea. If I build it, will they come? How in the world am I supposed to make money? Maybe you can relate. Are you at a place where you decided it's time to start a blog, or maybe you're attempting to develop a personal brand? You're seeing a need for that now like never before because of where you are in your career? Or you want to become that linchpin employee, that employee your company can't live without? Well, if you're like I was back then, you're stuck. Maybe you've even tried to implement multiple concepts or ideas, and you've all but given up. Well, at one time, I was in your place. I was stuck too, until I finally asked somebody else for help. The only thing that has consistently helped me is the personalized advice I've received on my exact situation from someone who has been there before. Sometimes you just need somebody to tell you what to do next. Now, since I began doing that, since I began seeking help all those years ago, I've seen some amazing things happen. That's why this podcast is even around. It's why it exists. It's why it's been here for the last 3+ years. I've had the chance to be featured in Inc. and Entrepreneur and be mentioned in the blogs of some heavy hitters like Seth Godin and Chris Brogan. My hometown newspaper, The Tennessean, and the Nashville Business Journal, and over 200 other blogs and podcasts, and invited to deliver keynote speeches and the chance to share the same stage with some names like Aisha Tyler and Mark Maron and Sarah Koenig, Michael Port, and many, many others. Well, I'm a big believer in taking those experiences and giving back, and for the last 2+ years, you may or may not know this because I don't talk about it a lot on the show, although I've mentioned it in passing. Over the last 2+ years, I've offered private coaching for a select group of people. Alexa is a recent coaching client of mine, and she says in regard to working with me that it's one of the best decisions she's ever made in her business. So I can't imagine where I'd be without Jeff. Billy just emailed me last week. He's another recent client. He says, I just wanted to say thank you for everything you've done. I simply wouldn't have accomplished all of this without you. I look forward to working with you more as I build and grow. Well, if you identify with any of this, here's the good news. I have, for the first time ever, just opened up a personalized one-on-one, what I call Get Unstuck program that will help you do just that, get unstuck. And here's how it works. Once a month, you and I will have an hour-long Skype call or Zoom call, and I'll help you determine exactly what you need to do next. Things like what business idea should you choose if that's something you're struggling with? What tools do you need and what can you ignore? Should you launch a blog or a podcast, and if so, how? What about monetizing things you're creating? How do you start building maybe a personal brand? Any questions you have, I will help answer. The session that we have together each month will be recorded and made available for you to review at any time. And in that session, at the end, I'll give you 3 specific tasks to take away from each call and prepare for the next month. So you'll have some momentum. You'll have some direction. You'll have a map. And I'll follow up with you weekly to check in on your progress and make sure that you're staying on track. And you'll have access to an exclusive Get Unstuck VIP Facebook group with other folks that I'm mentoring and coaching to discuss your progress, questions, and get advice from me and other members. Now, here's the thing. There are 12 slots. I'm opening this up to just 12 people for right now. It's first come, first serve. There is an application process. It'll only take you about 15 minutes to fill it out. And here's how you get it. You text the word unstuck. If you're in the States, you text the word unstuck to this number, 44222. That's unstuck. You text that word to 44222. Now, I've had some folks ask me, can I do this for a month or two? I just don't think that's enough time to have any sort of significant impact and progress working with one another. This is a 6-month minimum commitment. If you want to go beyond that, you're more than welcome. But it's a 6-month minimum commitment starting next month. And the cost is $200 a month. Now, this program is not for everybody. If your first response is $200, I can't afford that, then this isn't for you. You're not ready. My friend Jeff Goins, I think, puts it best. He says, years from now, what will matter is that you acted and that you made a contribution and that you decided to do something or that you didn't. So I'm looking for 12 people who want to act, who want to make a contribution, and who want to commit the next 6 months to making some major, significant progress. I want to help you do that. If you're outside the U.S., then email me, jeff@readtoleadpodcast.com with the word unstuck in the subject line. That's it. And I'll send you a link to the application. I don't know how many applications we're going to get. We might get 2. We might get 200. We might get 1,200. I don't know. But I'm going to hand select 12 people to work with over the next 6 months, starting next month. Now, if you're hearing this a year or two removed from this first publishing and you're interested, get your application in anyway, because there's always going to be people coming in and going out. If you're in the States, text unstuck to 44222. Any of my previous clients will tell you that this is a bargain, this is a steal, this pales in comparison to what I would normally charge for one-on-one coaching. This is a special offering for 12 people who listen to the Read to Lead podcast. I am passionate about helping people get unstuck, about bridging the gap between what you intend to do and what you actually do. Let's bridge that gap. Let's shrink that gap over the next 6 months. I want to help you do that. Unstuck to 44222. We'll see you next week.